Good evening, welcome then to another edition of Sunday Night Live. Slightly different than normal because there's fuck all to talk about with Millwall. So we're going to go into England as we're going to be covering during, obviously, the off-season. Make sure those of you who are joining, make sure you press that like. That's your entry. That's your entry fee for entering our game. We will be talking about Saric. We will be talking pretty much international stuff. And then towards the end of the show, we will be going on to Millwall. As you can see, the one and only Omar has returned. Good evening, fella.
Evening, mate. I'm back again. There's two in a row now, isn't it?
I know. It's I'm not going to speak too loud, mate, just in case. Do you know what I mean? No, that's it. And also, the one and only Jay is back. How you doing, fella? You all right?
All good, chaps. How are we both?
Good, mate. Living the dream as always, mate. So yeah, 50 of you in, 3 likes. Come on, press that button. Those of you on Twitter, good evening. Remember, you can comment straight through to the studio. Right, without further ado, we'll see you in a second.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
No one likes us, but we don't care. We're that Millwall podcast. Loud every Friday night right here. Legends like Jimmy Abdul take a share in the kitchen or two. Super Neil Harris a fucking legend too. Through the good times and in this life, we support the Lions all our life. This ain't no place for fancy feet. This is fucking Millwall through and through. Located on our very own John Ferguson way. Let them all come, let them have their say. Millwall till we die. With that Millwall podcast, loud every Friday night right here.
I know before when he fucking sits there in the comment, it says Friday night, but listen, it's Sunday night and it's not the new season, so you can do with that one for now. So we are going to talk about England. There's been a few shocks this week with England, but first of all, I think Omar, while we've got you on here, tell us about last night, mate. Actually, before you come in, let me just state, because people are going to be going, "What the fuck's that?" Right, on the right hand side of the screen as you're watching, the Win Trust is there. Charlie is a good pal of mine. I sponsored him way before he unfortunately got his brain injury, and obviously there is a trust now set up to help benefit him, because it's very expensive to put him on the road to recovery, and also helping other boxers with brain injuries. So I've set quite a lavish target, and we've got a few events coming up. We've got a cricket game eventually at some point, and we're going to look at a football game and some other bits and pieces. And throughout from now till next season, or to the end of the season, I've set myself about a £5,000 target, hopefully, to see what we can do. There's enough people to say, "Oh, I love you, you're great," and all this stuff. Well, look, there's a QR code there now. If you want to donate, you want to do anything, towards a charity, then just scan that with your phone and make a donation. It's a Just Giving page. It goes straight to the trust, nothing to do with us, but it just gives us a running total over the season so we can see what we've done, and it's all there for you. So, if you want to help support the charity, every Sunday night that will be up. And also you'll find that on our websites and socials going forward during the start of the season. So then, Omar, please do tell us about Iceland, England versus Iceland. And let's just put some context in. Iceland are not even ranked in the top 70, and they're nowhere near like they were when they last beat us. What was that, 2016? Mm-hmm. Tell us, how was the game? How shit were we?
You could have fooled me, mate, because I thought they were the better team. But no, I mean, look, it wasn't one for the purists. International games are never easy, especially friendlies. Look, you look at our sides, that 11, we should have comfortably beat Iceland on Friday. There's no doubt whatsoever about that. But, I went obviously to the game on Friday, and people saying, it's you never know with international football. And obviously, players are not trying to get injured before the Euros. There's a lot of caveats you can put out for that game on Friday, but what you can't hide behind is we didn't really look like scoring. We had a couple of good chances, I'd say, but aside from that, we weren't cutting them up open with ease. Obviously, you look at that side, the attacking four. You imagine Palmer and Gordon don't start. You imagine that, the likes of Bellingham come into the side. I don't imagine that's happening. And that midfield with Kobe Mainoo in there, there's elements in there that were concerning, especially because we kick off next Sunday against Serbia. But it's only a friendly game. Let's not get carried away by it, is all I want to say, I think. But yeah, it was a tough watch on Friday, mate, and Wembley was as soulless as ever. What can I say?
I mean, there was a strong lineup though, wasn't there? I mean, Ramsdale in goal, Walker, Stones. I'm not even going to pronounce that.
Guehi.
Yeah, him.
Mark Guehi.
Yeah, Trippier. Or number 8. I'm not even going to mention number 8 either. What's that? Manu?
Kobe Mainoo. Yeah.
Mainoo. There you go. Rice, Declan Rice, Palmer, Foden, or fucking Foden, as they say on the price of football. And Gordon and Kane. Mickey, my YouTube chat is not working. I've got no idea, mate. I've not blocked you. Pete, I can see your message on Twitter, fella. So, yeah, whichever way you want to do it, mate, the message is still there. So, yeah. So there was a good setup from us, but again, yeah.
You go behind early with a shit goal, and then afterwards, we don't really bounce back from that. And then the second half, there's loads of changes. Ivan Toney comes in, Joe Gomez, Bukayo Saka, running down the wing. Saka.
Do you think? I mean, Grealish not in the squad.
Yeah.
Southgate. Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll get onto that in a minute.
Definitely.
But I mean, do you think that he's taking 3 strikers? Do you think he's going to be playing with 2 up front, or do you think he's just going to keep playing with a lone striker?
He'll play with Kane. Kane starts. I mean, that's it. But I know what Joe thinks. But Kane starts. That's guaranteed. Kane probably plays 90 minutes every game as well, unless it's the third game and we're qualified. Yeah. I mean, Tony's there for the penalties, I think, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that. Exactly what I said. I think Tony's there just for a penalty shootout. I think we've got PTSD when it comes to penalties, and I think a lot of them decisions were based off of that. Grealish is one that shocked me, along with Branthwaite as well. I thought he should have been included after the season he's had. But look, we slagged Southgate off for going with the players that he likes, the Maguires and the Hendersons, and he changed it up a hell of a lot, and we don't like it again. So Southgate can't win at the moment. But that game the other night, after first looking back at it, the panic stations were going with it being next week. The performance wasn't good individually as well as collectively. But look, overall, looking on the bright side, it was a glorified training session and we come through unscathed with no injuries. So hopefully everyone goes 110% on Sunday and it looks a little bit better when we play Serbia.
The only thing I'd say about Friday and also Monday, maybe Monday a bit more positive, obviously, against Bosnia at St. James Park. You're looking for not necessarily just the teams play well, but you look for players to stand out and grab the opportunity. Friday, not one of them players walked out of there for me thinking, yeah, I'll back her. I mean, I like Anthony Gordon on the left, by all means, and I thought he had a good game. But I don't know, it's like it's probably going to be Foden out on the left, let's be honest. There's probably going to be Bellingham in the 10, isn't it? You look at that, it's like then it's a battle on the right. Probably Palmer maybe might get an opportunity. It's hard one to say, but regardless, there was an opportunity out there for players. The likes of Guehi, the likes of Ramsdale in goal. I mean, Pickford's nailed on, I suppose, but even Kobe Mainoo in the middle next to Rice didn't really get going, and that's concerning, I think, isn't it? Going into Sunday,
I think the only one out of all of the sort of, should we say, the new brand that have come through, your Gordons, your Palmers, I think the one that really impressed me was Eze. I thought every time, especially against Bosnia, when he got the ball, he was driving forward. He was almost kind of like, I think Eze was the reason that Jack Grealish isn't in the squad, because Grealish is normally in the squad to be that guy that draws the fouls, that draws people in, creates a space. And I think the way Eze played against Bosnia, he was doing very much of that. And he's also a lot more versatile than Jack Grealish. He'll get more goals. He can play more sensible. Drift right, drift left. So I think that was a big decision why Grealish ain't in the squad.
Be a little bit controversial. Do you think that there was probably a little bit of PR here why Grealish weren't there? Because you don't. Because I mean, Southgate seems to love all about. He's getting ruined at the minute, right? And he don't want any more bad publicity or anything else coming towards him. And the people he's taken are fairly clean, aren't they? I mean, you know, there's no risk if Grealish, you know, it goes out on a piss or anything else, then the media is going to be all over the England team, as they always are. It makes me die because we're coming into a tournament and all the media wants England to do really well, but then all the media is just absolutely fucking on the back of the England team from start to finish, same as they've always been. And you're like, did he just make the decision to go? Grealish could go off on one or do something stupid, and we don't need that. We just go with this.
They're in camp though, Mickey. So like they won't be out. They'll have days off, but they won't be leaving the camp. They won't be, you know, it won't be like go out and get pissed during the tournament. That doesn't happen. That didn't happen for the Euros in 2021.
No, I get that. But what happens if he goes in
years ago? Yeah, of course, more like Gaza and stuff, liabilities. Don't get me wrong, but I think if anything, him not being at the tournament now, he'll be pictured in Ibiza probably on next Sunday whilst the game's on.
Even worse.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't have Wayne Lineker having it large, like that's
I honestly just think the way Eze was playing was doing very much the same job that Jack Grealish does for England and for City, and he hasn't had the greatest season for City. You know, he's been in and out of the squad. I thought he did play very well though when he come on, set up a good goal for Alexander-Arnold. I thought he played very, very well. But Eze is a lot more versatile. We've seen with Konza being selected, he can play right back, centre back. Adam Wharton, the old Blackburn player, you know, play CDM, Cam, left wing. You've got all these players he's picked that are very versatile, that can play multiple positions, so he can freshen it up. I think he's just completely changed what he's used to. Whereas last time it was very resolute. This player can play here. This is where he's going to play. And he's mixed it up, and we've gone with a lot of youth, a lot of versatility. I'm not complaining with the side, just one or two I'd like to have included, but I can see the reasons why he hasn't.
I think he also hadn't helped himself by picking Luke Shaw to play, be in the squad because he's injured.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
You immediately got to have cover for Luke Shaw because he's injured. So I think then that maybe gave the opportunity to take Konsa, which might have then come at the cost of Grealish because they maybe had that extra position that was a bit of a free hit for someone to go. I think Grealish is a game changer. I'll take your point about what Eze is capable of, but I think Grealish is. You're right. Eze is similar, and I don't think I can argue that too much. But I can see a world where, you know, Grealish is 20 minutes to go. You bring him on to draw fouls, and
definitely, yeah.
The ball gravitates to him, and the players will gravitate to him as a result. So it's a hard one for me. But ultimately, Southgate's picked it on form, and we're going to slate him for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got experience. Grealish has got that experience as well. You know, Champions League finals, played against big teams. You know, he's played in the international setup. This was SA's first game, so it is. You know, it is a bit of a. This could be the decision that slaps him in the face because is Eze really going to get more minutes than what Jack Grealish would get? I'm not so sure. I don't think he would get in over Palmer. I don't think he'll get in any of the wing positions, or certainly in the 10 role with Foden, Palmer, and Bellingham. So I think his game time is going to be very, very little. And you know, Grealish, would he play more if he was there? Probably.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be an interesting tournament. But then again, you see, I think England does the best when we're going in as. If you can write us off before we get there, then we seem to do, you know, slightly better than, you know, when we've got all the superstars in there and we're expecting us to do really well. But that's when we normally just fuck up and don't happen. So, I mean, I'd probably say...
Do you know who the tournament favourites are going into it on the bookies?
Us.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It is.
The problem we've got, though, is that we've got all this firepower, all these... You know, we've got the best player in the Premier League. We've got one of the top strikers on the planet. You know, you've got the Saka, who's been fantastic for us. We've got some of the best young players, attacking players in the world. Yet we still want to be this defensive team, this play from the back. Let's build up and have some structure. Where in this tournament, our defence is arguably our weakest point. I know a lot of people don't like Maguire, but he's still solid for England. I think we're weak at the back.
This is all to do with the England image, isn't it? This is all to do with the England image and the way. That's why you find that there's a lot of clubs now what play from the back rather than, you know, play good old-fashioned wingers, what we hope that obviously Neil Harris is going to play this season is, more wingers and, the big man up top, etc., etc. And I think it's since, I nearly said since Rowett has been in charge, but it's pretty much, Southgate and Rowett are fairly similar people, to be fair. They still can't fucking get us over the line with the players they've got. But I think that this is an FA project and this is an FA basis.
What are you
and I think that wingers and whatnot now have been brought out of the FA setup. I don't think they're part and parcel of when they're training players and the development level that they're really there. It's all about, utility players and stuff and playing from the back, so the defence and bringing in rather than you think, 10, 15 years ago, we used to have proper wingers as such, proper creative players and stuff. Even look at, look at Beckham and that era and stuff of England. But then over the last so long, most teams have changed style of football, and so's the England. And if you read up on the England stuff and look at the England, there seems to be, all this England philosophy is in your now development is programmed towards England. So it seems as if any player being developed is for England. So that if they get into England, they already know the setup of what they're meant to be playing.
I kind of get what you mean, but I'm not sure. I think it's just ultimately what Southgate wants to play, this style of play. So I disagree a little bit because there is wingers in that side, mate. There's Gordon, there's Bowen, there's Saka. There is wingers in that side. I think more so for me, it was just thinking about Friday's game, it was just lack of intensity. But I do think I think Dan said in there earlier in the comment section about, they've already on the plane. But I think there was a few players there that could have made an opportunity for the name for themselves to get in the side for Sunday. And I think that's what disappointed me the most leaving the ground on Friday. None of them really grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and said, right, I want to start on Sunday. Maybe there's a kind of resentment or something where they already know who's going to be the best 11. Maybe they already know, who Southgate wants to go with. But I think the underlying thing for me was the disappointment of that they had their opportunity to, get certain players in that side to kind of force opportunity, but it didn't really happen. I know you mentioned Wharton earlier, Jay, but I think he's a top midfielder, I think, mate. And it'd be interesting to see if he gets a bit more time as the tournament goes on, like Bellingham.
I think he's absolutely class, and I'd see the stats coming out on his debut. He's got to be one of the most flawless debuts I've ever seen. And you think the transition from being a holding midfielder and a bit part, sometimes filling in at left back, and for Blackburn. And in the same season, you transfer to Palace, then you're on Bayern Munich's radar and you're in the England squad. It's just remarkable to see. He had 100% pass completion. He just looks so calm. He looks like the next Jude Bellingham, if you like. And I mean that not from a quality sense. I mean that in terms of his transition and his step up has been so fast. He just looks seamless. I honestly think that he's going to be a dark horse for that partner of Declan Rice. I think he might be that guy because I don't think Trent or Kobbie Mainoo have really solidified, as you just rightly said, Omar. No one really took that by the horns, and I think that was one position he's really up for grabs. And I think Wharton probably put himself firmly in the driving seat with that.
Yeah, because I think 3 months ago you wouldn't have said he was on the plane, and now you're here, and now you're thinking he could actually end up featuring in this tournament. I think Bellingham was the same during the Euros, and it's crazy the trajectory, but you can't ignore players like that will go higher and higher and just, keep exceeding their ceiling, I think. And he's definitely one of them. I mean, I think I read something on Twitter, Reluctant Nico, the guy that occasionally puts rumours out there. He reckons Kane's got more of a say in the squad than people think as well, with squad selection, which I thought was him, but also apparently Wharton was marked by Kane to say he's a serious kind of player to be in the squad. Which made you think it's because I suppose if Kane's thinking he's playing forward all the time, he's got these 4 passes to look for. There might be something there in that as well, which would be an interesting take.
It wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
I mean, a good few years ago, I knew someone who was within the sponsorship reign of England, and the sponsors used to have a lot of power over who was selected. Going backwards in when Rooney's and the Beckhams and etc. are in there, they had a lot of say of who they wanted in, which I don't think is like that now, but it gets to a worrying side when it's not necessarily the manager who's picking his own team. It's other other outside organisations because of publicity. But I did find it funny that there was a certain manufacturer who's obviously paid to sponsor England and paid for all the licensing, and now they've got Jack Grealish sitting on their advertising plinth in the supermarket, and he's not even going. So
who was it again? I was talking about it. What company was it that sponsored him? I was trying to remember it earlier, but I know he's the poster boy for all their stuff, isn't it? It's like it's a certain brand.
It's not Pringles. It's.
But anyway, yeah. So
it's a biscuit company, I think.
You put all your money into him being the poster boy, and he's not even going to the tournament.
That could be one of the reasons why he's not going. It's a distraction. Is that a distraction? Gareth Southgate's firmly. There's been a lot of talk with Southgate's future, and he's made this big decision, which is a massive decision, to leave Jack Grealish out. And if it pays off, no one could argue with South. This is his golden egg cup. This team should win this tournament. If we do not win this tournament, Southgate does not have a job for England. He just doesn't. He has to win this tournament. It is nailed on. The only real threat for England is the French. It's the only real threat. No one else is a threat to this side.
Question to you both and to the chat. Regardless of how Southgate does, even win this tournament or bombing out early doors, does he stay after this tournament? I think personally, he's got to leave after this tournament, no matter what happens. Personally, and I know it's actually. I think. Sorry, it's
Hellman's.
Hellman's, that's it. So but look, I think if Southgate wins the Euros, walk out and go, I've done my job here, personally for me. And then also if we lose, then it's a failure, like you said, Jay. I think he's ran his course. I feel like he's been in since World Cup 2018. I personally, for someone that goes, I do try and get to a few away games as well and stuff. I used to say I escaped Gary Rowett's Millwall to go watch Southgate's England, and it's kind of like it's around that course a bit, like how Rowett did with us a little bit. I feel like.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, and it's a great question. I agree.
Honestly, I used to escape watching Millwall week in, week out with Gary Rowett to then go and watch Southgate's England. Do you know what I mean?
Daily Millwall's come up with one. There you go. He said Joe Edwards getting lined up to replace him.
That analogy is so good, though. It's like, do you want to die from being burnt alive, or do you want to drown? It's what one do you choose? They're both just as bad as each other, aren't they?
And they've both never been seen in the same fucking room, and they both were fucking defenders as well.
Yeah,
and I don't know. We need to check now. I mean, one of the listeners, you can fact check it. Has Gary Rowett ever missed a penalty? Because obviously Southgate missed a prime penalty and then went on to do the really shit fucking Pizza Hut advert as well. So
I mean, look. Southgate, I think Southgate's done a very good job for England. Yeah, he's built this team. He's brought through some good youngsters. He's stabilised us. He's turned us into a threat, to a real top nation. Granted, the clubs have done that by bringing these youth through, putting them on the stage for Southgate to look at. So it isn't all Southgate, but if he doesn't win. Losing in the Euros last time and the way we went out in the World Cup it shouldn't have happened. He's been given a lot more time than I think he probably deserves, in my opinion, for the way that managers run their course now. It's a win now or you're sacked. Time doesn't exist anymore. So I agree with exactly what you said, Omar. Look, if he wins, go out on top as arguably one of the greatest, probably the greatest England manager of all time, unless you can go and win a World Cup, you're definitely right up there behind Alf Ramsey. Or if you lose, you have to leave because you cannot get this team any further. This is the best England team we've arguably probably ever had. I'll probably the 96 team and things like that. And like you're going to say, Germany last time, that is probably one of the better teams as well. But if he can't do it this time, he has to go. But then who'd you get? That's the other question.
On that, right?
English manager.
Imagine 10 years ago saying, firstly, that Southgate could become one of England's greatest all-time managers, which it's mental.
Especially Middlesbrough.
And exactly. And I can't even begin to say he was good because he wasn't. He took them down in struggling times, then struggled in the Championship with them. But supposedly left under a grey cloud, where some fans from their side say he was hard done by. But I think you need a tournament manager. You need a game I think Thomas Tuchel, when he was at Chelsea, for example,
Yeah,
one
I
Chelsea
love
in
that
Champions
term.
League.
Tournament
Like
manager. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, like you need someone that's like a game by game manager. Southgate set up a good side that plays an all right style of play, but you need a manager to come in that's going to identify moments in the game to change something. And Southgate doesn't have the balls to do that sometimes. He's reactive instead of proactive, and that's what I feel like. It's a bit of deja vu with Rowett.
Do you know who would be good as England manager? Now, I am not saying this do not take this as serious, but Neil Harris's personality. If Millwall were a tournament team, we'd win trophies. Because if you could get someone like Neil Harris, the way he G's up Millwall, if you can get the English version of that as an England manager, so every game is fucking life on the line, bodies on the line, save the club. If you could get that type, because Southgate seems very laid back, doesn't seem that aggressor. If you could get that type of manager who has that sort of personality, like Harris has in the dressing room, England would win. Because, like you just said, Oman, I love that analogy. Tournament manager, it is like this: it's win or go home. Like you need to be 100%. You need to know what it means. This isn't a season where you can let things progress and let things develop, which I think Southgate tries to do at times. I think if you can get someone like that, I think we'd be in a much better place.
I'm just going to bring Chris's comment in here, right? Chris Brown, because I sort of agree with him to a level on this, and see what you boys think. Even if Southgate wins the Euros, I still don't know if he is one of the greatest England managers we've ever had.
Well, okay, but I'll spin it a little bit. I'll spin it.
Does he? Does he have to be?
He does, because, like, mate, it's like, you know, the whole old age question where footballers. So I listened to some podcasts recently. They go, "Would you rather win the league or Champions League of your club, or win the Euros or World Cup for England?" Like, and people put it down like us. The Euros is, I suppose, people put it at like World Cup, Champions League, Euros. And for me personally, though, I kind of get the analogy. Like, would I rather see Millwall win Champions League or England win the Euros? But the day England win the Euros, mate, the country comes to a standstill. It's a landmark day. It's a world day. Like, we will go. Like, that's it. The country comes to a standstill. Like, and this is why I say Southgate would be classed as a legendary England manager, because he's brought home a trophy to England. It's bollocks, like, it's crazy. But if he does the goods, mate, there'll be a bank holiday going forward, mate. England win the Euros. That's what it would be.
Would you? Yeah, but realistically, right? Would you put Southgate, even if he won the Euros, would you put him in the top 5 England managers? Realistically,
you'd have to.
Would you? Just because he's won that.
Well, not just that cup. He's won a lot of games. Yeah, he's won games. He's took us to finals. He's, you know, in World Cups. He's took us far in World Cups. Did longer than what Capello did, who people regard as a great manager. Better than what Sven-Goran Eriksson did with probably an on-par squad. You know, you'd have to. Like, his England record is fantastic. Not just even winning a cup. His record overall. He's up there. It's undeniable. I know people don't like him, and he's not the greatest manager, but as the stats in front of you, if he wins a trophy and his England win percentage and where he's took us in World Cups and previous Euros, it has to be. I don't even think it's a question.
Well, I don't know, mate. On that
what other managers took us to the Euro final? Or that far in the World Cup, apart from our friends.
How many people? Yeah. But then again, hang on 1 minute. We'll go to it. Chris Brown has put it in. It's great, and it's a great comment. And it's a great comment for the chat. So, are you club or country? That's the thing. Is it club before country or country before club? Put it in the chat. Let us know. To me personally, it's club all day long, mate.
Listen, it is when you say it as a throwaway comment, but like, mate, like when the 2021 final, I was at Wembley for the final against Italy. I went to the Germany game, went to the semi-final against Switzerland. If England won that night, I wouldn't have been going home for 2 days, mate. It's a bit like Millwall winning the Premier League. You know what I mean? It's club all day long is the throwaway comment that everyone makes, and I've said it loads of times before, but I don't know, like. If I'm in Germany, mate, in a month's time, and I see England lift the Euros in Germany whilst there, that's like a once in a lifetime. Obviously, club Millwall for us feasibly, it's all contextual, I suppose. But if I'm there to see England win the Euros in Germany, mate, that's never going to be done ever again. Like in Germany, winning the Euros in my lifetime.
Millwall FA Cup final, England Euro Cup final. Which one are you going to on the same day?
I'll go to Mill FA Cup final.
There you go then. So it's club first.
It is, but do you get what I mean though? Because
I get what you're saying. I mean,
like,
anyone in their right mind, regardless of what the comments are in here, anyone in their right mind who says England are shit, blah, 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 right? Everyone will get more and more excited if we're getting towards the final and we're playing in the final. The whole thing. Same as if Millwall got to the Champions League final, mate, the fucking world will come to an end, mate. The FA would be resigning. Do you know what I mean? It'll be absolute carnage.
It'll be in Istanbul and it'll be going off everywhere.
Yeah. It'll be fucking absolute carnage everywhere. But to me, it's club before country, but I will follow the country purely because of what it is. And the fact of you've got a little bit of banter and rivalry there, but if we go out in the group, then no, they're shit. Do you know what I mean? But if we get to the final, yeah.
But the club thing though is because your club is not just a team you support, like it's the community around it, it's all your mates, it's everyone you see week in, week out. There's more of an impact on your life when your club does well than watching England in the Euro. So I think
Cole's got an interesting point.
It taps into things that the country like England can't do. So like it's different, but
it's the banter that comes with club football as well, because you work with people that support different clubs. You feel that sense of pride when it's your club winning and other teams are losing. Whereas with England, you're all together. There isn't that banter. It's we win together, we lose together. There isn't the arguments. For me, it's club all day long, and I'm the first to admit that when England games come around, I'll go, I ain't fucking watching that shit. And then as it goes on, and then the tournament gets closer, I start to go, oh, I like this. We win a game or something. I go right, then I'm fully invested. I'm that guy. I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm that guy that at the start.
No, I pretty much agree with you this.
But I mean, when it comes up, I'll be waving my flag, mate, on the top with my pants down on top of my car if we win it. So I'm not ashamed to admit that.
I would go to Germany for the experience of watching the games and whatnot in Germany rather than actually going there to watch England, if that makes sense. It's more about the experience and getting beaten by the German old Bill rather than going there to watch England play.
That's what it's like with a friendly. That's why I wasn't excited by Friday. Like it's the friendly closer before the tournament. You could call it that way. I wasn't excited about the game. I was excited for the day out. But when it comes to next Sunday, and I'm going to a major tournament to watch my country play, that's unrivaled a little bit. It is. That's why it's almost not comparable with club and country, but it obviously is. But yeah, Dan's right.
It's because in club, it's a regular thing, isn't it? It's like the countries, like when we play West Ham. The day when we play West Ham is such a big thing. Like the build up, the day itself, it's such a manic because we don't play them often.
Mate, it's a month. It's 2 months. If it, however long it is till that game where we got West Ham, it's everything about it is that's bigger than the fucking England being in the Championship final, mate.
Yeah, but I'm talking about tournament football, like actual live tournament football, the Euros, the World Cup, like that only comes around, like we say, every 6 years or 2, as it is now. But it's with the club, it's like we play FA Cup every year. We might have a good one. We play Leeds every year. That sort of thing. It still has its goosebumps, butterflies in the stomach feeling. But like as Omar was saying, like if you go into Germany and you watch England lift the Euros in Germany, like that will be unrivaled. Like any experience you'll have in sports, I genuinely believe that. Unless Millwall win the Champions League, but we have got fucking more chance of winning the Euros, the World Cup, the Euros, and then the World Cup again than Millwall winning the Champions League. It's just going to be an unrivaled event. So it is club when it's club, but it's also country when it's country. You can't. Both things can be true. I don't think the question can be one or the other. I think it's who is it at the time, innit? You're going to pick England because that's what we are. That's what we're doing. If Millwall playing the FA Cup final, it's club, innit? You go with the times, don't you? Or who it is at the moment.
It's all right. It's coming home, though, guys. It's coming home.
Stephen Bevan, look, Stephen Bevan is definitely club before country. He's coming with this. Don't worry, we'll be coming on the Millwall in a little bit, mate. Don't worry. We've got a few Millwall players to talk about first. So yeah, Saric first one of these friendly games was absolutely cracking. We were having chats in the group. We're going, fuck me, how well did he do? And then the second game, fuck me, what the fuck was he doing?
I actually think he played really well against Belgium. Like very, very good by all accounts. He made a mistake, in the championship.
That weren't just a mistake. That was...
No, I know. But in the championship he's going to get crucified for that, and that's game we're going to lose. But I'm still encouraged by how he's performed in the games that he's played in. Definitely. I mean, Belgium, Montenegro, that's not really something I'd like to throw at him as being you're a cunt sort of thing, because the players that he's up against, his defenders are up against, are not really on the same level to start blaming Saric, although they're his mistakes. But yeah, look, I'm still pleased with what Saric has done in these games. He was man of the match the other night, so
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's international football, it's friendlies, not much to be read into it, but he didn't do himself. He done himself quite well, I thought, for them games. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm all England out in this chat anyway. I can't do want to talk about how no one found anyone yet, to be honest. Let's talk about that, mate. What's going on?
So in that case, then let's just
we need
to just go. England's a fucking crock of shit, and we just go this. Go on then, let's have it. Why the fuck haven't we signed anyone? Anyone from the club watching? I know it's what, fucking 6 days away or 6 days away, I think. 5 days away till the window opens. But we ain't even had a sniff, mate. And Richard Cowley is just, I don't know. He's lost all his contacts, hasn't he? He just doesn't seem to be giving us all the nods what we've had. Do you know what I mean? Come on, Get on there. Let's have it. Come on.
I'll give you a quote that we'll see in the paper this week. Because of a major tournament happening in Europe this summer, this is why this market's naturally gone slow. Bollocks for me, personally. If there's targets out there that are free contracts, like look at Rotherham. I think they signed 5 players in 3 weeks after the window shut. After the season finished. There's players out there. Maybe we're waiting for a certain quality player, i.e. Japhet Tanganga, and we're trying to throw all eggs in one basket. But it is concerning, I think, because we've got to June now. It's been, 4 weeks since the season finished. Players have had their holidays by now and already come back home or getting themselves ready for pre-season to start, which is, I believe, the 26th of June, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
I remember that being branded about. So, look, that's 2.5 weeks away now. So, it is, you've got to ask the question, why haven't we signed anyone? Why? I see the link around today of that Humphreys, isn't it? The Rotherham defender.
Humphreys, yeah.
Would you want him, really? He helped, Rotherham went down and is now, League One. Do you really want a League One player to be coming playing? He couldn't hit it in the Championship last season.
It's Harding 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's feel like that.
It's Harding 2.0. I'm with Omar. I'm gravely concerned, I'll be honest. We've lost all the loan players and we've got some releases. The squad is very thin and it's going to get thinner with player sales and we haven't strengthened. And the rumours that are coming out are from sources that we don't trust, let's be honest, and there isn't anything concrete put from anyone. And Harry's saying, we want to strengthen. Yeah, great. Yeah, we know that.
It's just media. I mean, I think there's a lot of PR speech in the comments what Neil's making and being wheeled out to make.
I think that was to calm the fan base down, personally.
Yeah, of course it is, because at the moment we haven't got I don't think the CEO's in place just yet officially, so I don't think he can come out and say anything really yet. I mean, I'm surprised that Steve Gallen hasn't come out and said something potentially. Unless the only way you can announce players before the window opens is if they're free, unless it's the fact that we're paying. I mean, I know Tandanga is being released. But again, we don't know what's what. I listen. I've still got faith, mate. I've still got faith in that one, mate. in rumours and whatnot, I've still got faith in that one, mate. Honestly, I've still got faith in that.
The problem I have with Tanganga, the problem I have now, and it's a problem I've had with every player we've ever signed, is that the minute he became a free, if he wanted to be a Millwall player, he'd have signed. It'd have been announced. It'd have been a Millwall player. My worry is he doesn't actually want to be a Millwall player.
Yeah, but he couldn't have been announced because he was still under contract, so we can't actually do a deal until the transfer window opens. So
you've agreed a deal in principle, though. Clubs can reveal that they've done the deal and it will become official on a certain date.
Because we actually agreed a deal and that was announced. You know, the whole
we agreed the fee with Tottenham. Yeah, we agreed a fee with Tottenham. I think personally, we'll have Tanganga announced at some point, and also we'll have Longman announced, and I think there'll be 3 on, but I don't know who the other third one will be.
The problem is if we do sign Tanganga,
unless it's Cresswell,
and we sign Longman, that's fantastic, and I'm all for that. But we have still got so much to do in such a little time, because they're just 2 players that were here last season. We have got so much. We need to be announcing 3 or 4. Like there is just so much that this club has got to do to try and put us on a trajectory where we're not going to be bottom of the league, because this squad is bad. I don't think Tanganga's coming. I really don't, and I will eat crow and come on here and apologise if you're right and it is announced. 100%, I will do that, but I just don't think he is, and that worries me. That if we've got an inkling that he might not come, are we doing this elsewhere? Are we looking at other targets? Have we approached Creswell? Have we approached about Alfie Gilchrist? Are we putting other things in motion? There's nothing about Longman, not even the sniff of a bid. You know, there's just nothing coming out of the club where there normally is. I know Richard Cole has lost his contacts, but there is normally leaks and stuff coming out from reliable sources that we've put a bid in, or we've done this, we've done that. There's nothing, and I'm quite worried that is actually the true source, that there is nothing at this late stage. And as Omar said, in a couple of weeks we come back for pre-season, and then we're straight out on playing games, and before we know it, bang, the season's here. I think it's worrying. I really do.
I'm not concerned just yet. Like, I'm teetering on being concerned. 2 weeks ago, I was like, "I'll be fine." Now I'm starting to think, "Oh shit!" But if it comes to the 26th of June and there's not one player in the door that's a new signing, you're working catch up massively there, which then could lead you to signing players that aren't your first targets quite clearly, and then that's when you start to think, you start to doubt the fact that the player.
I would take. I mean, Chris Brown's just put it in the comments there. I would want Alex Mitchell back, but my biggest fear is with some of the youngsters as well, is if Neil Harris has been told it's Premiership push, it's playoffs, it's Premiership push, he's not going to risk playing the youth just in case. Just in case
he's going to have a choice.
No, I don't think
he's going to have a choice.
Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. So
unless there's this unless Berylson suddenly found the end of a rainbow last week or something, and we've got these funds, or there's a deal in place for Zian Fleming to go, and unless there is, because we need to spend a fair amount of money, because not only have we lost the 5 loan players that we spoke about, we released Hutchinson and a couple of others. We need some serious investment, and it's not just investment to make the numbers up. We have to get better. We have to bring in better players than the ones we've lost. And at this stage now, I just think that's far too much work to get done. I noticed the transfer window goes into the season. That's fine. But I'm just concerned that, like Omar just said, are we going to start hitting panic buttons? And where they haven't worked together a lot recently, Harris and Gallen, are we going to start having differences in who they want? Are they on the same page yet? Has that been worked out? Are we going to go, as Omar said, into players that we might not really want? And then before we know it, we've signed a whole bucket load of nothing, and we've just made numbers up, and we haven't actually got better. That's what I'm worried about.
I mean, so far, 2 pallets.
Sorry, Ricky, just quickly one quick thing on that. Murray Wallace hasn't been anything announced, but I assume he's triggered a contract extension. Murray Wallace, then, right?
No, yes, yeah, he's triggered. He triggered it last
12
year.
months,
Yeah.
That was triggered, yeah.
Yeah,
So then,
yeah.
but then you look at that back line, mate. Then you got left back options. Joe Bryan and Danny Matt will fill in. Leonard right back, and then your centre half options of Cooper, Harding, and Murray Wallace from last season, and then for Alex Mitchell in there. That's nowhere near good enough. That defence.
No.
Listen, Harris performed a remarkable job there, but then okay, midfield looks more secure. Honeyman's still there, Casper Denor still there, Fleming, Saville, Mitchell. So that's not an area of concern. But then you go to the up front positions, Nisbet, Bradshaw, and then that's it. That's the same dilemma. So we're short, especially at the back. We're short, and it's going to be
We're short all over. I mean, I'll tell you what was quite mad. I mean, last what was it? Friday night. Friday night, I'd done the show with chaps. If you've not seen it, watch it, right? And that was quite funny because on Who Are You? We did. I played back his first ever show he did with us, and on there he was basically talking about, Leonard was covering right back then slightly, and he said, Leonard's not really good enough, but hopefully he can get into it now. He's obviously really good. But the other thing he said there, and this is 2 seasons ago, we need a striker. And it was something what was said 2 seasons ago, and here we are 2 seasons ahead, and we still don't have a performing striker, what we needed from back then.
We get strikers though, don't we? We constantly sign them. They just don't score goals. Look at the strikers we've been linked with again. They don't score goals. I don't know why we constantly and it ain't, some of these rumours aren't concrete, but even the rumours are for strikers that don't score goals. It's just something that's stuck with the club. We need to, if we're going to spend money and big money for this club, we have to go all in. We cannot neglect the striker position any more than we have. We've seen what we can do with a competent striker when Bradshaw had his one good year, his freak year in 7 years at the club last season. We nearly made the playoffs. Because if we can get that right and we do shore up the defence, like Omar was saying, Tanganga back there, we could do that. There's no reason why we can't. But we can't neglect it anymore because it's been enough's enough now. We've got a striker in charge of the club. It's the perfect time to bring someone in for him to groom them, but they have to score goals. Nisbet doesn't do it. Bradshaw doesn't do it. I'm not convinced Dimarco is a centre forward. I'm not convinced Duncan Watmore is a centre forward or a striker. We've got a whole bucket load of nothing in that dressing room. In that room.
The elephant in the room is Ian Fleming as well in his situation, because if he moves, then that's going to be fun, you'd think. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But
You've got to get better there, haven't you, Omar? This is the whole point. Like, if we're going to do this, we need to have a plan. We can't just go sell Ian Fleming for, I was throwing a number 5 million. Don't think that's what I think. But I don't want it to be, well, we've got 5 million, Steve Gallen. What do you want to do with it? How much do you want? And he goes, well, I don't know. We need to have a plan so that we can go, I'm happy to sell Ian Fleming now because I'm happy with what we've agreed in place that we're going to bring in. I'm worried that we aren't doing that.
Good evening, Stephen. You're all right.
Evening, chaps. You're right.
Evening, mate.
Cole said something a second ago where, not Cole, Danny said, don't want Palace youth. We don't want to be blooding their players for them, which I totally agree with. But it just seems as if another year, potentially, we're going to be looking to loan players to make us have a run at the Prem or run at the playoffs.
Can I just jump in there on that?
No.
I'll leave.
Go ahead.
On that, though, I was reading an article the other day, and it was from I think it was a Middlesbrough. It was a Middlesbrough fan that had posted about where it had gone wrong for them and what they need for the new season. And they were saying that the year that they had, I think they had Cameron Arch had a lot of loan players in, and they banked on bringing in high-class loans to get them into the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at a lot of the teams in the Championship that make it, okay, maybe not Leicester. Leicester this season is a bit different, and maybe perhaps Ipswich, but they've all had loan players from the Premier League that add that little bit of quality to the squads that they already have. So I don't think it's necessarily a problem looking at loan players, but we do have to Yeah, I've been relegated now, mate. Omar's top dog, so he gets the top tier.
I've never been top tier, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, as I was saying, you have to. I think you do have to look at the loan market, but we have to stop. There we go. We have to stop bringing in too many young players, and then they get moved on to someone else. We have to bite the bullet, I think, perhaps with the likes of Tanganga, and say, rather than just loan them, let's get in an option to buy. Let's get them in permanently. And I know that's difficult, but I think that's where the lines we've got to go on.
And on the back of that, there could be an argument to say that we're waiting for the Premier League quality to become available to loan, I suppose. But the trouble with that is that you're going to have a situation where if all the other clubs are going for them, why is Millwall be the appealing attraction to that? And like I said earlier, I don't know if you saw it, Stephen, but I'm concerned there's no one in yet. Like, it's only a couple of weeks till pre-season. Not even to have one player announced that's going to get you excited. It's like, and I know they're going to say because of the tournament and stuff that's going on, and agents are on the holidays, or there's priorities elsewhere, places away. But you're a month after the season now, especially in the Football League, players will be itching to find out where the next move is, and they want to get deals done. So why ain't anything being done?
The thing is, as well, sorry, Stephen, is that Harris said, like a few weeks into his tenure when he come back, that they was already working on a plan. He already knew what he wanted, he said. And he said this a few weeks in. So we're talking a couple of months now where Harris has known what he's needed, where he's needed it. And we're still here a couple of weeks out from training camp, and the squad is so thin, thin. There's not one person through the door. It is concerning. If Tanganga comes through this week, I'll be a little bit happier. But
I think it's more concerning the fact that it's not even that we haven't got any players in. It's that there's no sniff of anyone. There's no.
We just discussed this.
Yeah, I caught a little bit before coming on, so I don't know everything that was previously discussed.
The leaks are just. There's nothing from the club. Basically, we were saying, normally there is. And
EFL Hub or whatever they're called. Jay, I saw your tweet about it the other day, which is brilliant. But
parasites.
There's nothing. There's just nothing in all of them.
What you got to hang on one second. What you got to understand with them, right? And I'm not going to name any particular one. You'll know exactly who they are. What they do is they pay the people who write for them very, very, very small, if anything. But what they do is go, the more clicks, the more likes, etc. That's how you get paid. So per 1,000 clicks, etc., you'll get X, Y, Z. And that's the problem you've got, is that you'll have people writing stuff, literally 10, 12 articles a day, just to help fill their content and help push it all out. And then you have pretty much imbeciles within each club. Ours is one on Instagram, what has got, what people call Millwall. I'm not gonna highlight them either, but they don't ever credit anyone. And once our website's going to be up and running for the new season, I'm telling you now, you fucking nick our content without giving us any credit, I'll be copywriting you, just for the hell of it.
Isn't it this time last year? So that Ian Fleming's Burnley was done and that blew up. Was it about this time last year?
No, I didn't say that. But I didn't fucking say it. And you were on the show with me. I didn't say that. I turned around and said it's rumoured too. I didn't actually say it was done. I said it's like.
I think the word you're looking for, Mick. Yeah, allegedly is the word.
Literally, one of those little fucking tin pots clicked it and shared it around loads of Burnley groups, and we were in the middle of doing something, and it was just going. Dun, 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 dun. I mean,
allegedly is a word that can save you, though, isn't it?
Should we make one up now? Then we can clip. Should we make one up now? Should we make one up now?
Yeah. Over the moon. That Omar, tell us, what player is it? What we've signed? What you've heard the rumor of?
No, I've heard we're selling Danny Mack to Arsenal for £32 million, mate. There you go. Allegedly.
Wow.
I'm going to play FIFA, I think. You've got more credible rumours coming out of FIFA and Football Manager at the moment with Millwall. This is the thing, like the players we just touched on the strikers, but the sad state we're in is that even the fake rumours and these shit ones, they're still linking us with strikers who don't score goals. Like, that's how pathetic it's become with us in the striker position. But it is concerning.
Jamal Lowe.
Jamal Lowe, same old bit, and Rotherham defenders.
All they do is they look at the championship and go, right, who's got a goal record of about 1 in 12? Right? Are they out of contract? Yes, right. Link them to Millwall. That do.
Yeah. It is concerning. On a serious note, though, it's unusual that there isn't any solid leak or anything coming out from a credible source that Millwall have made a bid or in link with someone apart from the Tanganga. And that's why I'm starting to worry that is it just that we're focusing really hard to get Tanganga done, and then once that's done, we'll start to flow, and you open up a can of worms and we start getting signing after signing. Or is it that Gallen and Harris haven't worked so much together that there's differences there? Are there differences on targets and if they're achievable or not? What I almost said was about, are we going to start worrying that time's ticking and we're going to move on to targets that are probably third, fourth down on the list? I'm worried about that as well, but I know you don't get everyone on your list. That's not how it works. But it is just a little bit worrying with how thin the squad is, the players we've lost, and the positions we need to fill. We've got no one in. That's what
the only thing I would say to that, and I might be touching on old ground from what's been said previously, but the transfer window isn't actually open yet. And I know that clubs, you got I think there's a club in League Two, one of the teams in League Two have got like 4 signings in already and things like that. And I get it. Gone? No idea. He dropped off a couple of minutes ago.
The thing is, Stephen, like what you're going to say is that, but you can agree deals in principle.
Oh, you can.
You did with Tanganga, while he had a contract.
But we all know that Millwall's transfer dealings and business and all that kind of stuff is always basically late. Well, it's not even the fact that it's always late. It's we'll give you a packet of crisps and we'll pay you £1 a year for 10 years or whatever, and that's all we go in.
You got to match the blue and the blue. That's it. Me and Omar.
Do you know what? Right? Do you know the problem is there? Right? He thinks he's being a funny fucker. Now that's just giving me an absolute fucking headache and continuity with editing. Do you know what I mean?
And you're right though, Stephen. You are right. It's like, do you remember when Arsene Wenger offered 40 million and £1 for Suarez?
Yeah,
that's literally what we do. It's like, right, we know that they're worth this. We'll undercut them, and then another club comes in and swoops them, because that's how all these clubs work. They look at who's interested in who. Oh, they're interested in them. What are they like? Oh, they're actually pretty good. We'll go after them. We'll trump them because we've got more money. We're not in a position where we can do that to other teams. We have to be a bit more shrewd, keep things a bit more close to our chest. But I'm worried that it's too close to the chest, that there isn't actually anything on the chest.
I'll tell you, without I know nothing. I literally know nothing. But come the day when the players are back in training, come that week where everything starts to come back again, we'll have someone in the door.
I expect someone to come this week, but I also expect someone to come last week, and I also hope someone come the week before that. So I'm hoping this week I'm right, because
but you're one of the most optimistic Millwall fans I've ever met, Omar. To be honest with you, like some of the stuff I've heard come from you, mate. I'd love us to sign someone this week, but I'm not sure.
I think do you know what? Like at this point, I just know how preseason normally goes, or like the close season. Like it's been 4 or 5 weeks now. Players we wanted to get their moves done. The club will want to be acting on some of it. This week we'll sign someone. I hope.
Will it be Tanganga? Will it be Tanganga?
It's got. I don't know who Y is, right? But we're going to go with Y, right? Y says they're working behind the scenes. You won't hear nothing until they're basically signed. Always the Millwall way, and players will be coming in the week leading up to the first game.
I'm not having that. If that's the case, I'm not going to be happy with that. I don't think any Millwall fan will be. We won't. We even got enough players to field the bench and the squad for that first game. If we don't sign anyone,
the fact that we release so many youth and we've sort of gone through shows to me that they're looking at there's something happening, and they're clearing up bits and pieces. I mean, I don't know. You still got Joe Bryan on fucking,
sorry, Nick. Just
fortune on
wages. On Joe Bryan. Has anyone touched on the fact on this show that he's dyed his hair blonde?
Not yet.
Has he?
He's gone bleach blonde.
He's gone full latte.
So he's looking like a latte. Yeah. So from now on, then do we just call him we just call him Latte Joe, or typical Bermondsey name now, isn't it? John the Veg and all that sort of stuff.
He's been watching Chaps, isn't he? He thought he's handsome.
Eminem's got a thing. I'm not putting the Eminem video up again because I've got copyright.
I think they all do it though. They get to a certain age and they dye their hair white. Messi did it. I went white naturally, so I was lucky. But they do, don't they? I just Joe Bryan just strikes me as a poser. I'm not a fan of Joe Bryan. I don't like him. The fact that he's dyed his hair white confirms my suspicions about him. Anyway,
have we got anything? We haven't got any pre-seasons yet, have we? Or is Gillingham the first team?
Gillingham.
Is that the first team?
Yeah.
But you've also got the Wheelstone friendly, which
that's 11.
I think I could see that being the first team squad.
They've put it down. They put it down as a Millwall 11, haven't they? They haven't.
And the 2 games they put down as Nugent's team.
Fair. Okay. But then also, I've just done the retain list quickly, right? So if I'm not mistaken, Sarkic, Truman, Leonard, Cooper, Harding, Murray Wallace, Danny Mack, Joe Bryan, Denor, Mitchell, Sav, Honeyman, Mayer, Watmore, Essay, Amaku, Bradshaw, and Nisbet. That's 18 players.
So we can put a team out then. We can put a team out.
Only just, but don't you need 22?
But no, that strikes me as though that we don't need to hurry or worry, but then at the same time, I'm like looking at that going, there's like areas that glaringly need strengthening. But then you throw Alex Mitchell into the mix, that's another centre half. So then you could say you're done at centre half, to be honest, because there's 4 centre halves there. But you're relying on Cooper, Murray Wallace, Harding, and Alex Mitchell. You need a top class centre half to come into that mix.
Yeah, I'm
happy with. I think the problem for me is the width, knowing that he wants to play a 4-4-2.
Yes,
that's got to be an urgent address, and also. He said that about Truman during the week, didn't he? That he'll get his opportunity in pre-season, but we all know we'll definitely sign number 2 as well. Surely.
You see, I heard this as well, right? I heard this rumour in the week from somewhere else. I've heard about another player potentially going to Charlton too.
Billy Mitchell.
No. Another player. I'm not going to mention the player's name because I was told in fucking massive confidence. So I'm not going to mention it at all. Not on air anyway. I'll tell you boys afterwards, but not on air. But I heard that that could be potential, but I don't know.
Well, Hutch Charlton,
yeah.
For the benefit of the audio listeners,
I don't know. Someone said that it was they were talking about Charlton and Hutch. He could be, but I was just like, no, he ain't going to go there.
With the greatest respect to Hutch, he could do what he wants. He's not here anymore. I'm not worried about whatever he does now. He's not going to help me at all.
To be fair, it could be the same person who told him, just fucking spreading an awful rumor. Do you know what I mean? So
I just think
I don't know.
We need to get, if at the very least, Harris has got to get some wingers through the door. If we're going to stumble on signings, I think he needs to focus on the wingers. Now, that's controversial because I do think we need strikers and defenders. But in order for us to be productive in a Neil Harris team, he's got to get wingers.
One positive spin. How many goals is Nisbet and Bradshaw going to get as a Delhi Joe up front next season? Come on, let's go.
I think
Here we go. I
reckon they'll play less games than goals.
I'll tell you what. Between them, they'll get 17.
Oh, yes. This is it, Stephen.
Right,
yes.
Right. But Tom Bradshaw will get about 3 of them.
Yes.
See, Omar's loving this because he's just Mr. Positivity. You would have said 5 goals and Omar would be buzzing.
No, I'm telling you,
it's not. You're telling me Nisbet's going to get 14 goals.
I can see Kevin Nisbet and Tom Bradshaw up front causing havoc in the Championship next season.
I can see Kevin Nisbet. The fact that it's all gone quiet about the whole last game of the season, that says to me that Nisbet's staying. That to me that
is true.
That says to me that Nisbet's going to stay. And if Nisbet stays, I genuinely think Harris will get more out of him. I really do.
Out of Nisbet. I really can.
Nisbet's staying. He ain't going nowhere. We've invested too much money in him, and no fucker's going to give us the money we've invested. We're going to work him until he can't play football anymore, mate. We're going to work him so hard, it's unbelievable, mate. And at the end of the day, mate, that's just going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm really sure a good partner.
Nisbet leaves in August. Nisbet leaves in August. I feel like.
Do you know what I think would be a better partner for Kevin Nisbet? Duncan Watmore.
Oh,
I think Duncan Watmore, not in terms of goals. I just think if you're going to play a 4-4-2, I just don't think Bradders and Nisbet are conjoined. I don't think they can work well together. I think they're too individual. I think Watmore is happy to take that number 2 spot up top and do all the running around, all the legwork, and just give Nisbet the ball. I don't think Bradshaw or Nisbet want to be a number 2 up there. I think Nisbet would work well if he is the main man, and Bradshaw's not going to suffer for that.
I agree.
My honest opinion on Nisbet, though, is I think his attitude. It's just his attitude. He won't succeed here. Harris won't have that attitude, and I don't think Nisbet's going to change that attitude either. I think he's gone by. I reckon he leaves in August on loan. Maybe he's back to Scotland.
He dropped in the last game, didn't he? For attitude,
someone's just put in the group that someone on bunches earlier put Cooper up front.
In the 93rd minute in the FA Cup semi-final, Cooper goes up front. He does not go anywhere past the halfway line in any league game next season.
I like this one. Stephen's brain must be elsewhere, not thinking straight. You know, Stephen, you've put that out there now, mate. And this time next year, we will be revisiting it, and we will
let me tell you,
14 goals, Kevin Nisbet.
Let me tell you, if Kevin Nisbet stays at the club beyond this summer, I guarantee you he scores goals next in the season.
Oh, that's
guaranteed.
You can't say that. You can't say
14 goals. 14 goals.
That's too
14 goals. 14 goals in all competitions. If Kevin Nisbet is here beyond the summer transfer window, you can click that.
Okay. I think
so. What are you going to do if he doesn't?
I'm not getting into it. I ain't getting into anything like that. You used to just mug me off anyway. You do it every week anyway. So it makes no difference. So
let me just hang on one second. Let me just say one thing, Stephen, right? Stephen, I don't mug you off. You come out with comments like Nisbet's going to score 14 goals.
I can see it. I'm with Stephen.
Thank you. Right, get that clipped and all on the end of it as well.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. Well, not actually. I'm actually going to disagree.
To be fair, I said he'd scored 25 last year. So
you did.
Did you? Do you know what though? I would have gone quite high. I would have said quite high as well last year, definitely. But you're saying that he scored goals. He didn't play a lot of games, but he scored goals.
Exactly. If you give him game time and if Harris can get through to him, which is that's kind of where what I'm banking on a little bit with it. But if Harris can get that attitude, the right attitude, and Nisbet in the box, and some, like you said earlier, I think Jay, get some wingers putting balls into the box, Nisbet will finish off the chances. The goal he scored, I think the goal he scored against Sunderland I thought it was Sunderland, the little cushion volley at the far end. Norton Cuffy whipped the ball across, and he sort of on the half volley finished it in the bottom corner. It was an excellent finish. Stuff like that. You don't see that from the other strikers. You don't see that from the others.
He's got that finesse about him. He really has. He's a brilliant finisher. He couldn't have got off to a worse start with Harris. Not really the ideal.
No.
It's quite hard to win Harris back, I think, but he can do that if he's going to score goals. But I just don't think he's a Harris player. This is my problem with Nisbet. I think he's a goal scorer, and I think there's a player there. I just don't think he's a Harris player. Don't think he's going to work and do the job that Harris wants him to do outside of scoring goals. And I don't think that'd be enough to play him.
Just out of interest to you guys, anyway. So on the retained list of players, right? I'll just quickly go flash through it. What would you rate Sark's season out of 10 last season? 7?
I'd say 7's fair.
7.5 ish. Yeah.
So we give Leonard a 9, just say, or maybe even a 10 because he was almost faultless.
Well, sorry, Omar. When Dan and I did our we did our rating. We did a live rating show. I gave Leonard a 10, and my 2 9s were Saville and Tanganga.
So then, but of the retained list anyway, right? So then Cooper probably a 6 or 5. Harding a 5. Harding a 5. Wallace a 5. Danny Mack, I'd say probably a 7 personally because he
I agree with that.
Brian probably a 4, like he was non-existent. Denor a 6 or maybe a 7. Mitchell probably a 6. Saville a 7. Honeyman a 6. There's not players. There's obviously players that are staying. So even down to the forwards, Bradshaw, Nisbet, Amaku, Essay, Watmore, Mayer. There's no one there that are like going into next season that fill you with confidence or excitement. Really, aside from Fleming for me, and then maybe the midfielders. And
I'm only
Lennon's-
happy with centre midfield. So
Yeah.
centre midfield and right back and the keeper. It's the only position I'm happy
The
with.
point is, like, if you had a war chest and you could spend money on anything, and that's obviously not possible. But I looked at upgrade everywhere but midfield.
Yeah.
And then at the moment we're saying we need players to fill in the voids. It's like to kick on. Like we'll need another like good run from Harris towards the end of the season to carry this on, because there's a lot of positions there that need strengthening, not only because we don't have the players there.
Harris said the goal was to stay up next season, and I honestly, genuinely think that is going to be the goal all season. I think
I'm hearing the goal next
big
season
struggle.
is top 6.
That ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Don't do
I'll go
this.
out on a limb now and say that we will be fighting relegation, not fighting top 6. That I'm saying that now.
That's what I'm hearing from.
Can we get that clipped as well, just in case the miracle
We'll be fighting
happens?
relegation, 100%. 100%.
So there's a question from Millwall Holding there. Who was the last Millwall forward to score 20 goals in the second tier?
The second tier. Oh,
Yeah,
bloody
so
hell.
obviously that
Teddy.
wipes
That's a long
out
time back.
that wipes out Teddy, doesn't it?
It would be Teddy because
Yeah.
he did it in the second tier as well, didn't he? When we got relegated, he scored like 40 goals or something stupid.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will be Teddy. I don't even think Harris scored. No, not even Harris. Not Harris, not Steve.
Harris got 29, didn't he, in third tier?
Yeah, but that was in the Division 1,
Yeah.
Division 3 at the time, wasn't it? Yeah.
Morrison got
was League
close
1.
though. No, Morrison got
Ooh,
close in one year in the
17, He got
championship.
17 or 18, didn't he, in the champ?
Yeah, he got close. But I
Gregors
don't think he
didn't,
did it. No.
didn't either.
No, he
No,
didn't.
I would have said it was Teddy.
Chris Brown's thrown it right on you here, Stephen. Obviously, as you can see, Stephen, to the right, that's the Wing Trust charity. What we're going to be having on for the rest of this season, for the rest of the season going forward, and people can donate by just scanning it with your phone, and it will take you to donation page. Chris Brown said this: Stephen should donate a £5 to charity for every goal Nesbitt falls short of 14.
I tell you
And
what. I tell you
and
what.
every
No,
goal-
hold on.
And every goal he scores more, Chris will put a £5 in.
I tell you what. No. Not forget that. That's fine. In all competitions, so across the cup and the league, 14 goals. For every goal less than 14, I'll donate to the to our chosen charity, the £5. I'll take that. But it's across all competitions. It's not just the league. So if he scores 3 in the FA Cup or 2 in the League Cup,
That's all right. We're never in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup long enough, so it's not bad, is it? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you can have those.
Not under Harris though. Harris loves a cup run, so we'll see. But no, I'll take that. I'll take that on. It's fine.
There you go. Then.
But when he leaves in August, that goes null and void anyway. So.
Oh yeah, if on the basis, yeah, he has to be here after the transfer window.
Or do we carry
so-
on for the other clubs he goes to? Like, just keep that
He
run
can't
going.
go
if
back
he
to
goes-
Scotland. He'll bang
Lesbit-
25 in. And then
Lesbit Rocci over in Scotland. When we're going live to Scotland, and Lesbit
Yeah. What are you drinking, Stephen? Oh, Lucasade.
Wild
I do
cherry
worry
Lucasade.
about the wingers and where the goals are going to come from. That's just got to be top of his list, even above Tanganga. That's got to be priority for me.
On
There you
a
go.
serious note, though, on
Chris
a serious
Brown said
note,
it, look. Chris
There
Brown
you
said
go.
if he scores more than 14, he'll donate the same amount everyone. So if he
Well
scores
done,
20,
Chris.
then he'll do it the other way. So,
Right,
under
so here's one
14,
for you then, right? You're Neil Harris now, and you're Steve Gannon. You're having a conversation. You can either go and get Tanganga, or you can go and get the equivalent of quality, if you like, in a striker. Who are you signing? You can only get one. Who are you taking? You got a 20. Say you got a 20 goal season striker there, and you got Japhet Tanganga.
So what is it?
Who
What
are you
have they
signing?
say? What's the saying go? Strikers win your leagues, defenders save you leagues, or so shit. What's the saying? It's a tough one, but I'd go for it. If you're guaranteeing me 20 league goals,
if you can guarantee me 20 league goals, I'm taking a 20 league goal
100%.
scorer all day long. All day long.
the defense will be a calamity. But then again, good teams are built on good defensive sides. I think
I'd
someone
have
mentioned
Tanganga.
Someone mentioned
Would
Aaron
you?
Hansen earlier. Apparently,
I would
Aaron
have-
Hansen not well, but hopefully that's all right. But I mean, like,
Apparently,
he
he's
was-
seriously ill.
It's in
But-
intensive care.
But defenders build a good team. But the strikers are the ones that I don't know. If you guarantee me 20 league goals in Championship, I'm taking the striker.
Listen, right? This is Millwall, okay? We could have fucking Messi playing for us, and the cunt still wouldn't score.
That's not the bet, though. They said the
So-
question is can you, if you guarantee 20 strikers, you're getting the striker. That's why, mate, because they don't come. They don't come often at all. As we proved, Teddy Sheringhams last one hit 20 goals or more.
Do you think though, on a serious note, obviously, Nisbet, with the bet and all that, but it doesn't matter necessarily, as you say, you could have Messi, you could have Ronaldo, Erling Haaland, whoever. The key thing for us will always be creativity.
Yeah.
It will always be creativity, because it's all well and good having, as you say, Erling Haaland doesn't play well for Man City when Kevin De Bruyne ain't behind him, putting the ball through to him or putting crossing, set pieces and stuff like that. So it's the same principle. You need the position that needs to be addressed is, if Fleming's going, fine, sell him, take the funds, bring in someone that can create 30, 40, 50 chances a season to rack up the sort of 10 assists or whatever. That's what you need.
But it's goals from other areas of the pitch, not just creativity. It's actually getting goals from elsewhere. We don't get no goals from midfield.
Jake Cooper,
this season defence was poor. That's what Dan says there. Strike. There's a saying in the American sports is offense sells tickets, defense wins championships, and that is exactly the same in the English game with what Dan's saying there. That's right. But even if we had 20 goal season striker, is that enough with what we contribute all over in the other areas of the pitch? Is that even going to scratch the surface of what we need?
Do you not think though, Jay? Do you not think though that under Harris, as we've already seen it, that Jake Cooper gets himself 7, 8 goals this season? That's one of the problems.
Yeah,
that's one of the areas that's a problem. You take them goals away from this Millwall team, which we did last season. We ended up towards the bottom of the league. It's no coincidence that under Harris, Tanganga got 2 goals, a centre half. Cooper got 2 goals, the other centre half. It's no coincidence that Harris got the big lads from the back coming up from set pieces and delivering goals. And I think that will carry on next season. So that's where you get your overflow, if you don't have the 20-goal striker.
Well, only one of our goals under Harris was only 1 goal come from a striker, and that was on the Femis.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So
Fleming and Longman.
Do you want an Obo at that Mill podcast exclusive that I'm going to give you? Who we're going to sign this window? I'm going to tell you right now. We're going to sign Jed Wallace. We're going to sign Jed Wallace this window.
Boot him off. Kick him off. Just boot him off.
I'm with him. I'm with him because we had this the other week.
I am so sure, and I believe this. I believe this so much. I can see Jed Wallace coming back to Mill this window.
These two did the exact same thing when I said we're going to sign Jed Wallace.
I can honestly. I just can feel how this window's going.
Do you know the thing is, right? Is that the problem is, when he's pissed, don't tell him fuck all. Because he goes, no, I won't say nothing. And then we're fucking live and he fucking sits there and says stuff what he's not meant to fucking say.
What are you about? I'm not even drunk today, mate, so I'm sober as they come. I can see a world where Millwall sign Jed Wallace. I can honestly see a world where we sign Jed Wallace back this window. He dropped out the side towards the end of the season. I don't think he even started one of the playoff games. I think Jed Wallace will come back to Millwall.
I said a few weeks back, I would, if he's available on a free.
Neil Harris is manager. He's gonna be starting on the this season.
He knows it, mate.
I said it the other week. I think I would love him.
I think Jed Wallace will come back to Millwall this window. He can play on the right side. Imagine him down the right, mate. Mate, we're winning the league. If that happens, we're winning the league. Clip it.
Yeah. We know he's coming back anyway, so but thanks for that. Yeah, that's just there's our viral clip going now. Thanks.
I can see Jed Wallace coming back to Millwall. I really can.
Yeah. Do you want to just add allegedly in there? Do you know what I mean? Just so that people who thanks. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. As long as it's someone this week, it could be fucking
Mickey Mouse.
It could be Mickey Mouse. It's got to be someone.
But I knew there's a reason why Omar don't do lives.
Jed was someone I tipped a few weeks back. I mean, Stephen had this discussion quite in depth about, if he's available on a free, he knows the club really. He still loves the club.
How freaky is that? Dan's just put in our group chat a fucking Jed Wallace moment from back in the day, mate.
There you go.
Literally, as we were speaking.
Announce it.
I said it weeks ago, and this would be a great signing. And the reasons why, I'll lay him out again. He played his best football Millwall under Neil Harris. He knows what Harris expects, and Harris knows what he'll get out of him. He's a big game player still. He led the line for West Brom while Thomas Asante was injured. He's still got a hell of a lot left in the tank, and he could still do a job for us. I would. Jed Wallace on that right hand side. Can you imagine if we kept Zian Fleming and you signed Zian Longman and you signed fucking? I'd love to combine the two. That'd be brilliant. Zian Longman, and you signed Longman, and you've got a front, a behind three. So
and then you've got Nisbet and Bradshaw getting 17 goals between them.
How many beers you had tonight, Jay? Because honestly, Zian Longman, Wallace, I can't. We can't listen. I know that on
Tanganga and Charlie Quezza at the back, fucking Danny Mack at left back, Ryan
up front. Apparently, someone
said Savile or Mitchell in the middle against Honeyman on the left, Wallace on the right, and then up front Fleming.
On a serious note, if it was announced this week, right, that Jed Wallace was coming back to the club, you both, I'm looking at Omar and Jay here, you both would be happy with that. And to the chat, if it was announced that Jed Wallace was coming back this week, would you guys be happy with that? Seriously?
Yeah, I would.
Is that because we haven't signed anybody else and we're panicking, or that we actually would want him?
I would have Jed Wallace on the right side of that pitch, and I would be happy with that. Happily,
I would be happy, but it has to come with, it has to come in a package. It has to come with others. There has to be another winger coming through the door. There has to be another a striker. You know, there has to be a contingency plan. It can't be this is our premier signing. This can't be the parade signing. You know. Tanganga has to follow him into Calvert Road. That's how it has to work with Jed.
Right, hang on, 1 minute. Shut up. Right, in the chat, before we've got about 10 minutes or so left, in the chat, Jed Wallace, yes, no. Just drop it drop it in the comments right now. Everyone on Twitter, there's nearly 400 of you. Let's see if we can get 400 comments saying yes or no. Go. Let's have it. And also, if you're on YouTube, press like at the same time.
The thing is, I don't get why people would think it's a bad signing for the reasons I laid out. I don't get why.
I don't think it's a bad signing. I just think Omar's got big fucking mouth. And
it's not, but it has to come with. He can't be the premier signing though. He can't be the main signing. I won't be happy if Jed Wallace is the best signing we make.
He's not the best signing we're getting, but
in terms of comfortability, what he expects from the club, what Harris expects from him, what he can do for us, is how he can perform. He's still got in the tank for all of that. That's a good sign. That is a great signing, in my opinion. I really do think it is.
Hey!
I love this comment.
Is that the? Let me know. Is that the Brian King?
Maybe
it probably is.
But Jed Wallace's car being parts of the drive. I saw Ben May and Glenn Johnson in BQ today as well.
You saw Ben May in B&Q?
No, and Glenn Johnson, mate, together.
Glenn Johnson,
allegedly.
Yeah, and they was talking in the car park to Jason Punchin. It's I think someone has to come through.
Trevor Candle was outside all, mate, at McDonald's getting a burger.
Someone has to come through the door this week. I would love it to be Tanganga. I really would. I think once we make the first big signing, if it is Tanganga, I think then it will flow a lot easier and more will happen really quickly. I do in my head. I'm saying we're just focusing on getting the first one done, the big one done, and then it's going to flow. But it is just a bit of a concern that nothing, not even a legit rumour, has happened yet. That's what I'm worried about. I want to see rumours. I want to sit there and go, oh, yeah, we're linked with this person from credible people, but we ain't seen nothing.
So, over the next week, all of you watching and Twitter and all that, just start. The best rumour what gets picked up will be the greatest one. You'll win a prize, mate. So don't go, oh, Messi, but yeah, put some thing in it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Get your Photoshops out, mate, and start fucking editing skills and all that lot, mate. But yeah, it'll be get the best ones you can in, mate. See if you can. I'll tell you what, right? If you can get a rumour put into, and listen, if anyone on here is watching who writes for these fucking tin pot things, that don't count. But if you can get a rumour into one of these tin pot clickbait sites, yeah, we will lord you up on the next live show, mate. You send us a proof, we will lord you up, mate, that you've got it. That will be that would be the way. Do you know what I mean? That would be so funny, mate, if you can. But yeah.
Talking of rumours, does anyone remember that rumour when Morrison signed that contract in the Championship? But I think we played Palace when we won 3-0, and everyone said, "Oh, Morrison's going to Fulham today." Anyone remember that? He's going to Fulham today. That was a wild goose rumour that flew through Colwell Lane that day. I remember it. I was like, "What the hell?" Everyone said,
but it was over very quick as well, wouldn't it? It sort of come and went.
So strange. I don't know if that ever was true or not. I'd love to fact find that one and see if it was true. If there was any interest from Fulham at the time, because he signed a new contract. Then he went to Norwich later in the season. But the rumour at the time when we played Palace and won 3-0 New Year's Day was Morrison's not playing, or there was a player that wasn't playing that day. It's because it might have been that game or a few games afterwards. But in that January window, Morrison's going to go to Fulham today. Deal's being announced. He's gone for his medical. I remember it so well. And like that's like we need to do a rumour like that spreads like wild goose like that.
So we need to do it at a game then, don't we? And just start it like each of us in our own stands and just see how quick. But the trouble is, we'll be saying something, and by the time it gets to the end, it'll be something like we're signing fucking Fred West or something. Do you know what I mean? It'll be something fucking really horrendous. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Now that's going to be in a tabloid newspaper this week, isn't it? Millwall in talks with fucking Fred West. Yeah.
Probably suit our style, I guess. Aggressive.
I don't know if we have. I don't know if you guys have discussed it. Any England chat? We'll see the Euros start.
Lots of it
this week. Yeah. I'm just going to put it out there.
Euros don't start this week. They start.
It does.
Let's start. Friday.
It starts Friday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No Grealish is a joke. I don't know what you guys think about that, but no Grealish.
Just listen back to the first half.
And are we going to win it?
That was so. What's your answers then, Stephen? Because we did cover them earlier. What's your answers?
Well, as I say, no Grealish is an absolute disgrace, and England make the final, but I think they fall at the final hurdle.
To who? France.
Yeah.
I think our run though, if it goes the way it should do, is France quarterfinal, Spain semi-final.
Oh, that changes things. Final. That if we play. If we have to play France prior to the final, that might change things. But
I don't think we beat France.
Well, I don't know.
It'll come down to two attacks, and our defence is not. I think is our weakest link, and I think France are just a more well-rounded team. We've got a lot of firepower and some good midfielders, but defensively, I think we're pretty shot. I think we have to. I don't think Southgate will, but I think we need to go after teams. I think that's probably our best form of trying to win this tournament is go and score 3-4 goals because we're probably going to concede 2 or 3. So go after teams. That's what I think we'll do or we should do. But I just think France are so well rounded. All their players have had great years as well. My pick. I think France is going to win it. Personally, I don't think England will.
So to confirm, how it should go based on if it's based on world rankings, and if it goes to that, which it never normally does, it will be round of 16 against Austria, Romania, or Turkey, and then this is if England win the group, then the quarterfinal against Italy in Dusseldorf, and then the semi-final against France in Dortmund, and the final will be against Spain, and that's purely based on world rankings. So
I think we'll beat Spain.
So yeah. I hope we get to
Italy are a shell of themselves, aren't they? Like most of their players are retired now. So
I'm not being funny. When we're like 4-0 up around this time, we finished by now. Next Sunday, I'll be telling everyone we're winning it anyway. Yeah. So that's just how it is with England in tournament.
So one last thing on that, then I'll let Omar pose to you the same question that he posed to us, if he can remember about Southgate.
It was Mickey that asked the question, wasn't it? Mickey said, you say Southgate would be a legend for England if he won the Euro?
If he won the Euro.
Question, Mickey's question, and then your question on does he leave? So both your questions.
Yes.
Both your questions to Stephen.
To merge together then, Mickey, Stephen, the questions were from Mickey 1, would Southgate go down as a legend if he won the Euros for England? And I then backed that off before that and said, if he doesn't win the Euros, he goes. If he wins the Euros, he should still go too. I think it's ran its course. But what's your thoughts on them two things?
If Gareth Southgate wins this competition, for me, he goes down as a legend. I think that's just a natural thing. We haven't won a trophy since '66, so I think that would happen. Do I agree with it? Probably not. But that's just whoever it is. It would would be given legendary status. And regardless of the outcome of the Euros, win or lose, I think we need a new manager leading us for the World Cup.
Agreed.
So, all right, so we had this with Mickey then. Is he a top 5 manager all time if he wins the Euros? Overall, just overall, not just
Agreed.
the fact that he's won a trophy is automatic.
All right, no. Let's
For me, he does. He's won a trophy.
Right,
He's won a trophy.
Stop.
If he does it.
Let me just let's reform that question. Right now, who are your top 5 England managers?
I can't be asked to go through him.
No, but right now, Gareth Southgate ain't in there.
All right, so you obviously have
which one of them-
Alf Ramsey, Kevin Keegan, Sven-Göran Eriksson, Bobby Robson,
And Fabio,
maybe Capello. That's probably a 5. There's probably some in the 70s and 80s.
Do you know what? I genuinely
I would
mean
put Venables
this.
in there.
I couldn't give a monkeys about any of the managers that didn't win us nothing. It don't matter to me. It don't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Venables had a
that-
great team as well.
Yeah, Venables.
Yeah, they did, but you could argue that the team in 2002 was a great team. It was one of the best teams England have ever sent to a tournament, and they blew it. If you don't win at international football, if you don't win, it don't make a difference.
I actually think that Southgate is up there already because I know people don't like Southgate, so people are going to say angrily that he's not, but just because they like other managers. But his record, his win-loss ratio, all of it put together, his overall England career, he's a top 5 England manager. He just is. Based on statistics alone. If he wins a trophy, he's the second best. He's number 2. He has to be.
Yeah,
One
but
last
he's only
question.
number 2
if he
he's won
wins a trophy, if he doesn't win a trophy, he goes down a long list of all the other
I
managers.
don't think he goes down the long list.
Statistically,
down
he's
the-
done well.
But statistically, don't win you trophies.
No.
And as an England fan, I mean, I think
I agree.
Omar, you're going out to Germany, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As an England fan, and you go home and away, you want to see your country win a trophy. If they don't win a trophy, it doesn't matter what they do when they beat teams 10-0 in qualifying or 5-0 in these countries that put out the postman and the milkman in their starting team or whatever. It matters at tournament football. If Southgate brings us home a trophy, he goes to second place behind Alf Ramsey, and I'll accept that. If he doesn't, nothing. Don't matter to me.
One last question, Stephen. Millwall win the Champions League or England win the World Cup?
Millwall win the Champions League.
Okay. We went on to debate about that, talking about how England win the World Cup. I mean, obviously, Millwall Champions League is club over. So the argument is you choose club over country, right?
So, to make that a little bit more realistic, if you said to me that you could guarantee me at the end of this season that Millwall would get promoted to the Premier League, or you could guarantee me that England win the Euros, I'd be taking Millwall going to the Premier League.
So would I. I can't argue that. But my argument back is also though, if I see England win the Euros, because I hope we'll be out there for the final if we get there in Germany, win the Euros. That's
for that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's once a lifetime. But then again, me seeing Millwall in the Premier League could also be once a lifetime. It's a really hard question to answer. I think almost. I don't know. It's almost uncomparable. Obviously,
mate. Just imagine. Just hold on. Just picture this. Yeah, right. We're in April next year, and we're travelling on a Wednesday night to Sunderland away, and Kevin Nisbet scores his 15th goal of the season to secure promotion. Right, you'll forget all about the Euros, mate. You'll forget all about the Euros. You won't care.
But that said, though, mate, if I see Jude Bellingham score the winner in the 95th minute in the Berlin's Olympic Stadium to see England win the Euros, it's hard to compare. Obviously, what I came down to was the club's got more in, week in, week out. It's that whole thing. The reason why we're here, for example, it has that more of a. But if I'm there to England win the Euros, that's history. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. I can't. It's a hard answer for me. I have to admit, but I would choose Millwall, I think.
Right then, on that bombshell, there's a few there. What's come through comments, which I'll run through a couple of them just before we go. But the Brian Clough is ahead of Southgate, and he never managed. Just let me check on these comment. I've got a couple of starred ones.
I can't believe you said Rose West is going to sign for Millwall as well, though.
Yeah, there we go. No, England, no left. I said Fred West, not Rose West, but someone else has said Rose West. So yeah, No left-footed defender in the team, bar Shaw, and we all know he's injured. Southgate has the best talent England has had for 20 years and won nothing, beats nobody, and then comes against a team that can play and lose easily. Never mind about England, who are we signing? Pretty much done. We think that is Ian Dawes, I think. Got a corker for you, mate of mine. Had his cooker cleaned, went online and got someone in. Fella turned up and he was a former Millwall player. Played in the sides in the top division for Millwall. I think that's Ian Dawes, but I'm not 100%. I think we're there. Listen, you've got 2 minutes if you want to put them in. Who do you think is going to win the Euros? But we will do this next week. Next Friday, I suppose, possibly. Omar will be in Germany. We're getting phoned in, pissed.
Run away to the
So,
How long are you staying out there, Omar? And what
I'm
are you
doing
doing?
Friday to Friday, so the first 2 games. Debating the third game still, but annual leave comes into it. And then I'll be out there for the semis and the final if we get there. And I'm guaranteed a ticket to both. So I'm hoping I'll get to go back out there again, but I'm happy to just go to the first 2 as it is, to be fair. But I'm just thinking, I know obviously there's people in here that are also involved in the bunches chat. It might be worth suggesting it, but if we should do a little sweepstake or something, get something going. It's just a kind of entice a bit of interest. Maybe do a couple quid each or 5 each. I don't know what people want to do. But maybe if you're not onto that app already, be sure to sign up to it and we'll get a little sweepstake going and do a little draw. And
then when Lyndon Dykes is announced that he can't play in the tournament for Scotland, they call up Kevin Nisbet. We get him top goal scorer.
So we starting now with the Kevin Nisbet 14 goals. Is this 14 goals like through pre-season, the Euros?
Yeah, I said all competitions. I did say all competitions.
Here we go. Yeah, apart from fucking Euros. But yeah, right. So listen, gents, everyone watching, we will end up posting on the community over the next couple of days a QR code for the Euro coverage. So if you go into the Euros, there's a few more people joining on there where they'll be talking about how to get around and different bits. There'll be information posted on there. There's a few different people. There's a Scottish fella on there who can help out with accommodation and routes and different bits and pieces. He does he organises a lot of the Scottish travel stuff, so he knows lots of bits and pieces around there. There's a few other bits on there. Plus we've got our England show that's going to be kicking off for the Euros. Omar is out there. And we'll have some others. And, it's just going to be general banter across the group. And it's free to join. It's on Bunches. The reason for Bunches, it's fucking better than Twitter at the moment, mate, because every time someone posts something, I've got some random in somewhere in the world, mate, going, hey, go on, Millwall. And, mate, it's driving me mad. Twitter at the moment is fucking driving me mad.
Like that geezer. Come on, Manchester United.
It's fucking it's mental. So that is it. Thank you very much. Stephen, anything you want to say?
No, short and sweet for me tonight, but hopefully England can do the business in the Euros and enjoy Omar.
Thank you.
No worries. Jay, anything you want to say?
Yeah, hopefully the next show we've got a signing through the door and we can talk about that. But yeah, come on England and Omar, be safe out there, be careful and help us bring home a well-earned trophy.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But if you're not, hold on 1 second. If you're not careful, Omar, Jay's having your space at the top tier on this podcast.
Omar, what are you going to say, fella?
Jed Wallace will be signing on a free transfer at some point in the close season. It's coming home. It's coming home, guys. Jed's coming home.
Right.
And it's coming home.
So a couple of points before we go. If you're not on Bunches yet, Bunches is worth joining. It's just an app with a chat with different chat groups. It's worth joining to see the lookalikes. And if you think any of us are lookalikes, then please post pictures on there. It's highly amusing. So over on YouTube over the next couple of days, I'll post the lookalike QR code and the England and the Euros and the other groups on there. Just join up and you'll find it all, or join our main one, which I'll post, and then you can go from there. To our source, I didn't break the level of trust. It was that dickhead about there who did. So if you've got any problem, speak to him, not me. And Jed, I'll see you in the Players' Lounge in a few weeks, fella.
Oh, giddy up and get away.
Oh, we're going Millwall and we're going today. Here we go. Rocking all over the dance.
Mate, gents, if you look at Jed Wallace's Twitter,
Oh,
he's
we're
changed
still
his profile.
live.
Oh shit, we're still live. Oh fuck.